Hi, in this video we are going to talk about how you can record narration to your PowerPoint slides so that maybe students could watch them on their own time, or for students who are absent if you didn't video the class. So first, obviously you have to have a PowerPoint, so I've got this one up. And the first thing you want to do is find in the toolbar, you should have a toolbar that says recording. If it's not there, it just needs to be activated. And if that's an issue, I can make another video for how to turn that toolbar on. But it is a feature that we should all have with PowerPoint. You will not find it if you're using PowerPoint in Teams. And so you always have to be in the actual PowerPoint application and not through Teams. So you'll click on recording. And then you get some options. You can insert forms if you want, which can be interesting. It's really only going to work if you save the file in a specific way, which I'll tell you at the end. You can do screenshots, things like that. You can also add just screen recordings if you wanted to. Like right now I'm using Screencast-O-Matic, which I paid for, but you can use this to do a screen recording. But in order to record specifically my show, I would go to record slideshow. And you can choose to start at the very beginning, or if you want to start at a certain slide, like maybe you've already recorded some stuff or some stuff's not that important. So I'll just stay record from beginning. And you should then get a screen that looks somewhat like this. It should have kind of some basic options for you to record, stop, replay. There's some pen tools here at the bottom so that you can draw while you're typing or while you're talking. There is your microphone, which you can turn off. I don't know why you would do that since you're recording, but okay. And then you can also turn a camera on or off. So if you want the students to be able to see you while you're talking, you can put that on. I usually just find that it's in the way. You can also turn the preview off, but now you don't know if it's in the way. So I usually turn it off, but that's completely up to you. And so what you would do is you would just hit record. It gives you a little countdown. And now you start talking. And you say whatever you need to say, and maybe, you go on. Then when you're done with this slide, you just click to go to the next slide like you normally would. And so now you're talking about this slide. Maybe you want to highlight something. And so, highlight this. And then you can go to the next slide. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe you want to draw on it. So you can do some kind of cool stuff. Circle this area, whatever. And then if you need to pause, someone comes into the room, not like that ever happens, or whatever, you can hit pause. If you hit pause, that's going to let you start back on this slide. You can hit stop, but if you hit stop, you have to be done with this slide. Otherwise, you're going to have to re-record it. So for instance, if I hit stop, my only options now are either to replay this slide, or if I hit record, I'm going to record over what I talked about. But the nice thing is everything on my previous slides is already saved. So it saves by the slide. So if I just completely messed up on what I was talking about on this slide, I can just hit stop and start over. I don't have to start over the whole beginning of the video, which is a huge bonus, at least if you're me. And so then let's see, if I maybe wanted to skip a slide right now, notice I'm not recording. You can see the timer down at the bottom isn't moving. The first timer down there, that's telling you how long you've recorded on this slide. The second one is telling you how long the whole recording is going to be. And so I could record something on this slide and say, this is interesting data. You can do measurements and counts, blah, 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 blah. And then, move on to the next slide, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually, if you're at the end or wherever you are, then you would just hit stop. And then from there, you can click the X button at the top to get out of the recording window. You don't want to click clear. That's going to clear the recordings. You could do that if you want to delete them for this slide. So you hit close. And so now what you'll notice is on slides that you have made a audio recording, it's going to show up with a little speaker icon. So for instance, this slide has one. This slide is a hidden slide, so I didn't record anything on that slide. And then I didn't get to this slide. So the next part comes when you try to save this. So you could actually send this to your students as just a PowerPoint like this. They would just have to, when they went through the PowerPoint, they'd have to kind of click on each of these little speakers and hit play, which is a little awkward, but it works. But there are several different ways that you can save it. One is to save as a show. This is going to create a PPSX file. Basically, it's going to create an auto-playing file. It's going to let them click through the slides, but it'll give your narration as it goes. So this is the only way you're allowed to, you can actually use a form in there. So I could have inserted a form in my slideshow, and then as they're going through the show, they have to fill out the questions. So it's a way to put quizzes in. But that only works if you save it as a show, and then they'll go through and watch it. The problem with this is that these files are generally gigantic. So most of the time I use either export to video or publish to stream. Now the files are still gigantic, but they're a little easier to open. Obviously it's a video, so they don't technically have to have PowerPoint to open it, even though our kids all do. Export to video, that's going to save it onto, well, I guess wherever you tell it to save. Usually that's going to be somewhere on your computer. Publish to stream is going to send it to your Microsoft Stream. Honestly, I usually use publish to stream now, even though I don't love stream. It's just very easy for me to then put a link to the stream in Teams or in my OneNote, or the student's OneNote notebook, rather than trying to upload the video from some file. Plus then I don't have the file stored on my hard drive anywhere because it's going to take up some space. Do note that the longer the video, the longer it will take for this to happen. So don't make a video and think that you're going to immediately be able to transfer it. It could take like 30 minutes or so if it's a longer video. But that's essentially how you do it. I can go into more depth if you would like. Hopefully this helped you, and let me know if there are questions.